witness a seismic event. Now, let the party begin.
Your healthy radio addiction starts now.
Hollywood's Motorcycle Madhouse on iHeartRadio.
And welcome to the show. It is Monday, and hopefully this week we're going to have a great week. I want to welcome everyone in the chat room to the nice live show that we're having today. And today we're going to be talking about California Bill 1824, because I've been getting a lot of questions on that one, especially since this bill's been around like 15 freaking years. But the way they are enforcing it is now changed. Instead of getting a ticket to repair, now it is a fine. Everybody is up in arms about it, and we will get into that in a minute. But one story that, came on, actually before I came onto the show, that really hit me right in the freaking balls, because I used to be in the tattoo business for over 20 years, own a couple shops and stuff like that. And this guy right here needs a bullet. Let me tell you. Take a look at this, and we'll come back real quick and talk about it.
Two artists accused of failing to tell women he was sleeping with that he was HIV positive.
Now law enforcement is looking for more possible victims.
42-year-old Jason Toffner is charged with 6 counts of reckless endangering safety. Adriana Mendez has more.
Authorities say Toffner had unprotected sex with 6 different women within the last 3 years. Now, one of the women has tested positive for HIV.
It's unfortunate that we had to be associated with somebody that was of this caliber.
Outrage and frustration is what Jermaine Lewis is feeling tonight after learning one of his former artists, Jason Toffner, failed to disclose his HIV status to women he slept with and to his former co-workers.
We had no clue that much information about him, otherwise he wouldn't have been working here at all.
Toffner was a licensed artist who was employed as an independent contractor by Trusted Tattoo. The owner says getting HIV through a tattoo needle is extremely rare because gloves are used along with chemicals.
We can't ask medical history at all. As coming as an independent contractor, the most we can ask them is their tattoo experience.
The 42-year-old met all 6 women between 2017 and 2018 while employed at Trusted Tattoo and Sacred Skin in West Allis. According to the criminal complaint, the first victim asked Toffner if he had any sexually transmitted diseases, and he replied he was clean. Other victims state they had unprotected sex with Toffner on multiple accounts, several of which had been inside Sacred Skin Tattoo Shop. The owner of Sacred Skin declined to comment. Documents show Toffner was investigated in 2006 for similar charges, where he admitted to authorities he was HIV positive. He spent time in prison until he was released in 2015. And the district attorney is asking anyone who might be a potential victim or anyone who has been tattooed by Jason Toffner in the past to come forward. We have contact information listed on our website at tmj4.com. Reporting in Milwaukee, Adriana Mendez, today.
Okay, thanks for that, Long Rider. Really appreciate that YouTube live super chat. If you guys want to help the show, just like that super chat that just came in, you can YouTube us down at, there's a little $sign on the chat window. Hit that. We really appreciate it. But let's get back to this idiot, or this, I'd call him a monster or a jagoff that needs nothing more than a bullet. You know what I mean? Being in the business like I was, now Illinois is a little different than Wisconsin when it comes to this stuff. See, in Illinois, we have forms where you have to ask the customers if they got HIV, if they got Hep C, all that stuff. Now, in the tattoo industry, you would think that AIDS is a big thing. It is on the piercing side, where Hep C on the tattoo side is the biggest concern of transmission. But you can guarantee that when I owned shops, I made sure that I asked my artists, I don't give a shit about any damn law, if they were HIV or Hep C positive, because if you were, I wouldn't give you your freaking, because you were an independent contractor. And dealing with blood and stuff like that and the safety of the public and covering your ass as a business, You're damn right I would ask. But now you say, let me give you a little education on the HIV and the Hep C end so you know. Besides this jerk, HIV, it's a weak virus. It basically dies, as soon as it's out of its zone, out of its, how can I say it, its atmosphere, if you will. That's why, one of the biggest modes of transmission is sharing needles and stuff, because when you stick that needle in and you pop up or you plunge it, it's still in its environment. So when it gets out of its environment, it's weak. But Hep C, that's a bad one, man. That can live up to your on a desktop for up to 7 days. But what this guy did is, messed up. He went to prison the first time, and I really feel sorry for those who caught it from him. Basically, shoot him like a little dog, man. Put him out of his freaking misery, if you ask me. But it looks bad on the tattoo industry. I know the shops in Illinois, man, are a little more tight-knit and strict on who they hire and stuff, and they do ask, if you got that shit. But this is messed up, man. But let's go to our main topic of the day, because everybody's been talking about this one, and that is the California bill. Let's talk about it a little bit here. Now, this has to do with modification of exhaust and stuff like that. And let's just read it real quick. No person shall modify the exhaust system of a motor vehicle in a manner which will amplify or increase the noise emitted by a motor of such vehicle, so the vehicle is not in compliance with the provisions of 27150 or exceeds the noise limits established for their article, blah, blah, blah crap. So let's go back and, look at that for a minute. And basically, I think it's like 95 decibels there. Basically, they hold it 20 inches from your pipes, and if it goes over that, now they got a federal grant out there in California where they got actual cops going around every weekend or twice a month, actually going around checking for this. The cops got nothing better to do but mess with people, their exhaust stuff. They claim they're trying to do it to curtail the racing scene out there, that Fast and Furious crap. But, hey, Dan, thanks for that, man. But what's worrying is it's really going to give the cops an excuse to just pull anybody over, bikers, or more especially club members. It just gives them another tool in their pocket. And with them doing an enforcement like this, where before, like I said, it was 15 years old, now it's ticket and you don't get a chance to correct it. So you can get, what, $1,000 ticket because you're exhaust? And, that's really going to put some people out. But, in the motorcycle community, it's going to hurt, man. And, hey, by the way, people asked me about the Save the Patch t-shirt in the background. That is done by Dirty Sam Productions. They're one of our sponsors. And he's doing them for like $10, I think it is. So Save the Patch t-shirts. You can find his link on our HarleyLiberty.com, and he's a real good guy. He's actually doing a lot of our Motorcycle Madhouse t-shirts that are coming out later this month, and real good guy. But let's get back to the pipes. Now, I hear a lot of, and I hear a lot of it in Chicago too, but I hear a lot of, let's see here, how could I put it, crying from the people in California about the different laws, the different taxes. And the first thing I have to say is, just like I say to anybody in Chicago, is too bad, suck it up, Buttercup. You keep on voting for these far-left Democrats, and it's your problem. Until you freaking get an ideal and stop voting for these people, these are the type of laws you're going to get. You're getting a nanny state right now, and it's your problem. Until you do something to change it, what can I tell you? Now, what's so worrying right now is I also read some statistics, and I got a couple articles in here that really should scare the hell out of anybody out there. How the hell are we raising our kids? That is something scary. Nearly, and this is from the article, nearly half of millennial Democrats say they identify as socialists or democratic socialists. And that's from a BuzzFeed poll. 48% said they would call themselves a democratic socialist, compared to 39%, you have to throw that in there. Among Republicans, it's 23%, but half of the millennials have pride in socialism? What the hell are we doing out there? See, this is what happens when you allow the schools to raise your kids. And in effect, this is what happens when you keep voting the same people in over and over and over again. In Chicago, you got the Democratic machine. They've been in charge of Chicago for over 100 years, and they got the worst taxes, the worst crime. They got it's a beautiful city and stuff like that, but cost of living, you can't live there because they tax the shit out of you. Our governor, that fat boy, Pritzker or whatever you say, was sworn in today. This dude had an idea of putting in a freaking box into your car and taxing you by the mileage to use the roadways. So these are the type of people you get. Because why? Because they sell you all these promises. They want to give you all this social freaking welfare and stuff like that. So people vote over and over and over again. And, just look at this, Cortez broad. This one's a dipshit, if you ask me. And it's quite sad that somebody would elect somebody like her. She don't even know there's 3 forms of government, man. This, she's way out there. But those that are aged 22 and 37, really, you identify with socialism? Do you really know what socialism is? If not, you can go to Venezuela, you can go to Korea, you can go to China, any of that stuff. Communist socialism, they're the same damn stuff. You're crazy, man. What the hell is wrong with these people? And another thing, because the wall, and you know what? Yeah, we're talking a little bit about politics because it goes with this video with House Bill. But just because we're bikers don't mean we're not going to get into the conversation of politics. And if you can't take politics, then there's something wrong. Both sides are a bunch of idiots, and you can't trust either one of them, and you especially can't trust the media when you can see the propaganda they put out there. And I got something coming out Friday, which is huge on the propaganda side. It's a big story that I'm doing, actually, on Insane Throttle Biker News, and it goes towards the motorcycle scene, where they actually did a hit piece on a club. I'm talking nothing but a hit piece. You can tell some of their facts was way off base. You had a lot of editorial opinion in it. And basically, it was like a cop that was writing this shit. But anyway, going back to the way these people actually think. Now, we have that border crisis right now. Everybody knows it. We have the border crisis right now. We have people coming in illegally and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things I hate is when the left go, well, we're all about immigration. We're all immigrants. You know what? When my people came, my great-grandmother was the first Italian-American on my side to come in. And she did it correct. She went through Ellis Island. She did everything. She went for her citizenry. She didn't jump over the border and just go. Okay? But here's exactly what the progressive left, and the reason why they don't want borders, they don't want no border security, is, you know what? That broad down in Georgia who just ran for governor down there and lost and cried and whined when she did. Here's what she has to say, and this just came out. I believe it was in the New York Times or something. Quote, I wouldn't oppose allowing non-citizens and 16-year-olds right to vote. This is what that failed Georgia candidate had to say. She said in some case, this is what was asked to her. In some cases, you would be supportive of non-citizens voting. I wouldn't oppose it. I actually think there are some cases where 16-year-olds should be allowed to cast their vote and cast their ballot. I think school board elections where kids actually got to speak to the decisions made by the school board members, I think there's a legitimate argument for having that conversation. There is no legitimate reason for a non-citizen, any talk of a non-citizen being able to vote. That is against the Constitution, and that's why there's such a split in this country right now. Is because you got these type of politicians, and you got people that enable them because you only vote because it's a D or an R. You don't vote with your heads. That's the problem in this country. This is what you get, is you get somebody who's in Congress, this broad, again, don't know 3 branches of the government, goes out on TV, makes a fool out of herself, but her constituents keep on voting her in and on. Illinois, same thing. You got Michael Mannequin, King of Illinois, man. We don't got a governor, man. It's King Mannequin, it's called over here. These voted in election after election after election ever since 80 as the Speaker of the House. And we're in one of the worst shapes out of all the states. Our credit's above junk bond status. But hey, let's keep electing the dude. You know what I mean? And when this bill, HB, comes up in California, and you got people crying about it, I have no sympathy for you. I really don't. Yeah, it's going to hurt the motorcycle club community because you all know we love our pipes and stuff like that. And you know the cops got another excuse to motorcycle profile. Now they got this in their arsenal that, hey, pipes are loud, we can pull him over, he's got a patch. You know what? If you people really don't think that happens to club members, you're smoking something better than I do every night. And I smoke some good shit, by the way. I smoke some primo stuff. I really do. But if you don't think this is what happens, and I get that a lot with people that, I call them pole smokers because all they do is hang on the pole. With the Mongols patch case, don't have to worry about them taking other club stuff as long as you're not doing this, you're not doing that. How freaking ignorant are you? You don't live on the street, you don't know the street. You're ignorant. If you don't think that's the way cops are. Is there some good cops? Yeah, I have to say there's good cops. But do they abuse the system? Hell yeah. Now, what do I mean by abuse the system? It could be something as little as, you've seen it. Everybody's seen it. Cop pulls out of a freaking spot, turns on his freaking lights to, shoot a red light or shoot a stop sign while everybody's trailing in the back. They use the badge for themselves. They got these God complexes. So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think that they're not going to use this new tactic with this exhaust law in California? You have to be crazy. You do. You really have to be crazy. Go ahead. I'm going to open up the phone lines, man. I really want to hear what you got to say. That was my kind of like monologue today. But it really does surprise me, man, because don't irritate the shit out of you when you hear these people crying about some of the laws. And, I read, because I still got WGN from where I'm at, and that's the biggest thing for Chicago is WGN. And you hear all these people crying and whining. They passed this, what was it called, this pop tax or soda tax, whatever the hell you call it. They passed amusement taxes out there. And you wonder why Illinois, for the 5th straight year, has had people hijack it the hell out of the state. And you're about to lose one congressman because of the census in 2020? Really, people? That's just like this, Russia investigation going on right now. And it came out on Friday that one of the reasons why it started was because old boy fired this FBI director, Comey. Now, everybody knows the FBI, especially if you're a biker in the club scene, you had to deal with these jokers. They're a bunch of asses. But they came out with retaliation against him, saying, well, he was a spy for Russia, or he worked for Russia. Come on, this is the president of the damn United States. And rightly so, what's going on right now is actually some of the mainstream media saying it's a coup. You know, that's the kind of country we're living in. So, I don't know, man. Everything is insane, John, and working man. California, you're on air, buddy.
Hey, yeah, I'm crying, I'm bitching, I'm moaning about the fucking laws, and we vote, but it seems like nobody, our votes just don't fucking count, man, out here in Cali, man. If we vote one way, they just tie it up in fucking legislation and say the shit ain't ever gonna pass, man. So you know what? We're looking at moving to fucking Arizona. Fucking, there's all kinds of shit you can do in Arizona. You can fucking carry a gun right on your hip. You can have loud pipes, I don't give a fuck. So, yeah, I'm crying about California.
Well, you know what, Dan, with California, what I don't understand is, you know, I talk to a lot of friends that have lived there all their lives, and it was a much different place, you know, before the mid-'90s and stuff like that. But these radicals were able to take over the state government, and I think there's, you know, a super majority in both houses now where I guess San Francisco, LA run the damn state, and the rest of the state has to suffer. So my question now is, what do you think about this new law where they're able to enforce it? And you know damn well stock or aftermarket pipes go over to 96 decibels.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, this fucking California's ran by a bunch of fucking leftist communists, man. Bunch of fucking Antifa faggots is what's going on around here. And I'll tell you what, it's going to hurt the club scene. But I'll shit you fucking not. If they're going to fuck with bikers, they better start fucking with all these little motherfuckers and their little piece of shit Toyotas and Hondas doing 30 miles an hour, sounding like they're doing 80 down the highway with their loud pipes, you know, because everybody in California wants to be fast and furious. I don't know what you know about this place, but they all got their little fucking Toyotas and Hondas and whatever fucking cars. They're slammed to the ground with super loud pipes. And they better get those fuckers too if they're gonna fuck with bikers.
Well, they're claiming that this law was to prevent that kind of stuff, but you know, this law is going to be turned on bikers in a heartbeat, and especially club members. Now, right now, we're in the process with the Mongols with the patch case. And now you got a law like this. Where's the harassment going to stop?
Yeah, you know, it's like I said, Hollywood. We fucking vote. We get out there, we vote. But if the powers to be don't like the outcome of the fucking vote, bro, they say it's voter fraud. Or wait a minute, we have to recount. Or they tie it up in legislation. It's fucking insane. But hey, did you get any of the video I sent you from Bike Night?
Yeah, I seen it on the Biker and Brotherhood, what's it called, the group today.
Well, I didn't want to put too much on there because I didn't know if they'd get mad if I showed patch members, so.
No, okay, I don't care what you put on the group. It's for everybody to talk. I don't regulate and stuff like that. But,
yeah,
you know, you say
you
say you're going to be leaving California and stuff like that for
Arizona. Yeah, I'm already job hunting.
Rock and roll. You know what really confuses the hell out of me? And, you know, California, I don't know how the hell you guys live out there. I hear freaking 2 bedroom room shacks are like almost $1 million out there. And
oh, bro, we pay $1,450 for a 2 bedroom fucking apartment, man.
Holy cow, man! Holy crap! That's Chicago prices, man. That's Chicago downtown prices right there.
Yeah, we're out, dude. Dude, oh, we're so out, man. I'm a fucking walking hate crime in California. If I get in one fucking fight with a non-white, I'm done. And then I catch extra shit. When I get inside, it's all bullshit.
Man, well, I feel for you. And you know, another thing that I don't understand is the people that are fleeing places like California or Illinois, they're going down to Texas or North Carolina, and they still vote for the idiots that they were crying about back home.
Oh, no. Yeah, we got to get rid of this whole fucking government needs to be, I want to keep this so I don't get arrested over here. We need to seriously revamp it, put in some working class men, people who understand what's going on. We got to get these fucking blue bloods out of office. They've been in there too fucking long. They're raising their children to become politicians. Their same ideas are going to their children. They're keeping the money in their fucking families. You see with the Clintons, The fucking Kennedys, you can see all the people pulling the strings. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Well, you know what? You bring that up, you know, because you got Hollywood, not me Hollywood, but you got Hollywood there in California. And that Ron Perlman, who actually played on that SOA thing, he came out with a rant against, you know, the Republicans and stuff like that, being a party of KKK, I guess, after that King came out and made some remarks. But it's, you know, that idiot can't even ride a bike, so I don't know how he was on the show. But anyway, it's like the elites run this country and people just don't get it, man. They really don't.
Yeah, they don't, man. People, you know what? They got to wake up, because I really believe what's happening in France is going to happen here. It's happening in Germany. People are sick and tired of the fucking high taxes, man. We left Europe because of the fucking taxes. You know, we revolted because of the high taxes. The shit's going to happen again. I see it coming. I mean, I don't know anybody who's not happy with the taxes. I think everybody's unhappy with the crazy taxes.
Man, you know what? We can only hope that what's happening in France and Germany can happen over here, man. People start waking up. Because if we don't, our country's going into a place that I don't think it'll come back. And you know what a lot of people don't understand is we're only 200 and something odd years old, man. And that ain't old for a damn country to fall. And, you know, we based all our stuff on, you know, Rome and the Romans stuff, and they were around for a couple thousand years before they fell, but a lot of the stuff that's going on in the United States right now led to the fall of Rome.
Every fucking empire, man, they have their day, and I think we're getting around to that turn, you know, and I hate to see it because I got 3 beautiful children, but, you know, I really think it's coming, man. I think we're going to have a big one.
Now, do you know, as far as these exhaust pipes, man, do you got aftermarket on or do you got stock?
Fuck, man, I got D&D exhaust out of fucking Texas. My bike's fucking loud.
So, you know...
I'm afraid to go by car.
You're not even a freaking club member, but as an independent biker, you got to worry now.
Oh, fuck yeah. $1,000 tickets when I get pulled over? What the fuck?
Yeah, because it used to be where you didn't have to, all you had to do was prove that you fixed the problem or some crap. But now it's a ticket right away.
Stock pipe back on, yeah. It's all bullshit, dude. It's just another way for them to fuck the taxes and get more money from us and do absolutely nothing but line their fucking pockets with it, because the streets out here in California need to be fixed. They're not fixed. We have all kinds of fucking veterans sleeping on the streets that need to be taken care of, and they're not being taken care of, but we're paying outrageous fucking taxes, and these motherfuckers need to taught a lesson. I don't want to say too much.
Well, is it true, man, that, you know, because we see a lot of media reports where it looks like a third world country with the homeless camps, you know, crap all over the street, on the street.
Oh, fuck, you don't even know, man. I could go to places. I used to take my children to this one spot down on the river trail, on the bike trail that would go all the way down to Huntington Beach. I used to take them riding from 14 all the way down to the beach, and we'd make a whole day of it, and then have my wife pick us up. Not any fucking more. It's like I either got to carry my blade at all times, or I'm carrying a gun with me, because man, oh fucking man, it's like Tent City, underneath every single overpass you go, and you know what, dude? It's just a matter of time before they start, you know, jacking people as they ride by with their kids.
Right. You know, that's terrible the way that's, you know, they claim to, you know, be all progressive and stuff, but you got homeless living everywhere. But they don't want to help with border security with all the illegal immigrants coming in.
You know, and that's just going to create more homelessness, because those guys are going to take all the jobs that are there that these big companies are going to let them take. And, you know, when they say, you know, I'm not trying to get off the topic, but when they say, oh, we're in the fields, we're going to clean it up, man, they're in these warehouses, they're taking the jobs of a lot of people. And a lot of people are pissed because, hey, I could have worked that fucking job. Hey, maybe it's $30,000 a year, but so what? You know, I'd rather see an American working a $30,000 a year job than a goddamn illegal alien. I think something needs to be done about that as well.
Right. Now, John had a question, and since you're in California, I gotta, you know, go with you. Is old exhaust grandfathered in or not under this new law?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Fuck, I haven't a clue. I just found out about it the other day because my old lady fucking said, look at this bullshit. And I'm like, oh, fuck. because I spend my fucking stocking drops away.
Man.
Yeah, dude, I'm not happy. And let me tell you, I got a shit ton of fucking cops over here, man.
Well, you know what? I feel for you because I was just over at the Trans shop yesterday. They're redoing my bike. I actually, I'm getting it back tomorrow, and they throwing the apes on and the West Coast look and all that type of stuff. I don't think I do good in California, man. I really don't think I do good.
I don't know. There's a lot of motherfuckers running eight-fingers out here. I'm a T-bar man. 14-inch T-bars all day.
No, I'm talking about as far as cops. Me and cops don't get along, man. I get so much hate mail from them frickers.
Oh, they pull you over. Yeah, you look like a fucking thug. They pull you over, man. I look like a good boy, so they don't fuck with me.
I had a friend that did time over in Pelican Bay and stuff like that. As soon as he did his time, he got his ass back to Chicago, man. So that says something. But I'm going to let you go, man. I got another call coming in from Cali.
Peace.
You're on air.
Hey, I used to live in California, and I can tell you the loud pipe thing has been a problem along the beaches for years, and you get pulled over because your pipes are loud. And there's cities there that already have ordinances that you can't wear a club patch that gives them justification to pull you over and harass your ass.
Man, how bad is it now that, that they're actually got teams from a federal grant that's going to be going around harassing citizens? They're claiming that this is to stop all the road racing and stuff like that, but I can't see that, man. It's going to be going against freaking the club guys. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, I just left California a year ago, and it was the city went to hell, and I decided it was time to go.
Now, when you say the state went to hell, what are you? Because me being from Chicago, and we got an audience worldwide on right now. What specifically about California made you want to leave?
All the taxes and all the politicians that keep getting voted in. Mm-hmm. All the people I know throughout the state, I can't find a single one that's ever voted for anybody that's in office. So I can't figure out that. And then the laws, nobody's ever, voted for the laws that I can find that keep voting them in. They just keep getting passed.
Right. Well, now with leftist supermajority, man, and California, I heard, used to be a beautiful state before the mid-'90s, and now it's just like, wow. It's how do people... This is one thing I'll always ask is how do people want to keep on crying and whining when they vote these people in? Time after time. It makes you crazy.
Yeah, and then they turn around and like the last jackass governor they had, he started to drive the state into the ground with his taxes and everything in the 70s, and then they turned around and voted his son in, and then they re-voted him in where he just ended up with his 8 years.
Man. So basically, you got the California machine like we got the Chicago Democratic machine.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that club patch stuff, but, they've been fighting out for years out there. Like I said, there's a town that I came from, a city in Southern California, that I constantly would get pulled over just because I was wearing the patch, because their city, that you're not allowed to wear colors or cuts in their city limits.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, Dominic, you got to call in after this caller, man. Dominic, you'll love him. But is the COC involved in this out there right now? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. They've been heavily involved since day one, and they've been helping fight, and a lot of us have donated to help save the patch, because, once it starts, it's not going to stop. And then if you only do to stop the Mongols, then what's going to stop them from going after military guys that wear their patches? And then they start picking and choosing who they want? Well, now you're discriminating.
Exactly, and that's why this patch case is so damn freaking. I'm actually glad the judge, didn't sign off on the jury's thing. Now, this judge originally ruled against the prosecution, so let's hope that happens again, because people don't understand. This is not just motorcycle clubs. They can get precedent, or they can go after any organization at that point.
Yeah, and it's just they've got the foot in the door, and it's not going to stop.
No, it ain't. It ain't. And that's what's sad is when especially in the biker community, that freaking drives me crazy. Because when I came into the biker community, it was cops on one side, we were on the other. We stayed away from that line. Them on theirs, us on ours. And now you got guys that are actually out there riding bikes that claim, hey, as long as you ain't doing this or you ain't doing that, the cops ain't gonna bug you.
And like I said, that's bullshit. And this pipe line, they used to stop us along the coast there, all the beach cities. Hated riding there because they would write you up for modified exhaust, not even for the noise, just because you changed it from a stock one, so they used the modified.
Right. Well, can you imagine upsweeps or anything of that? Man, they're going to be prime targets now.
Yeah, it better. I left there, and I'm glad I'm gone, and I feel sorry for all my friends and all the guys that still ride out there, and just try to make a living out there.
Right. Now, do you think they're going to go after Leo clubs with this?
Yeah, I think they will.
You think they'll actually enforce that against them, or the Leo boys will pull out their badges and get a walk?
There's going to be, there's going to be some that really going to crack down hard on that. But I mean, all the guys I know and the Leos out there, they just don't give a shit about the pipes and stuff like that. It'll be interesting if their councils and their chiefs, and the politicians push them to enforce it. Because most of them, that I know, just don't want to deal with it.
Right. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you calling in, man, with your insight and stuff like that. That's real cool of you to do that. And man, this subject got me today.
I just discovered your webpage. It's the first time I've seen and listened to you, and I just had to give my 2 cents.
Well, rock on, man. Welcome to the Throttle, man. I really appreciate the support, man. Hope you keep on watching and getting involved.
All right, man. Take care.
Rock and roll, buddy. And it's great hearing from Kelly. Hey, Dominic, man, if you're out there, man, I want to hear I want to know a New Yorker's point of view on this. James Provo, watch. They know this judge is somewhat of a constitutional judge. Don't be surprised if he mysteriously ends up like Anthony Scalia. I wouldn't doubt it, man. Pammy, what's up, honey? Hey, Pammy, you need to call in too, honey. I haven't heard from you. New York's on air. What's up, buddy?
Hollywood, how you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? How you?
Not bad. Hey, listen, everybody's got to realize in this country, you got the law enforcement need the bad guys. It's all about the money. That's why the biker community is such an easy target for them. Let me explain to you. One time when I did some time over in Donald Wyatt in Rhode Island, people don't realize that's a private institution. We needed 680 inmates to make, to hit the green light.
Right.
I was 622, I think. When we hit 680 inmates, we actually had a party in the prison. Because now the prison was actually making money. It's all about the money. Right. All this stuff with the pipes and stuff is just all about the money.
Oh, man. So you were in a privatized joint then?
Yeah, it was all about the money. The medical, everything was all about the money. I remember when I first went away, Connecticut came and said to me, would you serve your time in Connecticut? And I was like, why? They were like, well, for a Connecticut inmate, we get $50 a day. For a federal inmate, we get $200 a day. So we like you to serve your time in Connecticut. I was like, nah, I'll go up to federal where I could be out all day. When I got in federal, when I was in Wyatt for a short period of time, which was a supermax, it was private. Everything was about the money, the money, the money. We needed a certain amount of inmates to make ends meet. And that's why if you look around the country like California, Chicago, New York, I see it here in Connecticut also, at certain times when the prison system starts to run low, they run around and they start at 2 o'clock in the morning knocking on doors. You had a beer, you smoked a joint, you're coming with us. Because it comes down to the federal funding, the money, once again.
Yeah, it's all about money, and that's probably one reason why we got more inmates per capita than most of the other civilized nations out there.
Without a doubt, more than I think 50% of the men in America now have some type of felony charge, and a lot of that is just to get the guns out of everybody's hands. A lot of states, once you have a felony charge, you can no longer file for a pistol permit.
Right. Now, what do you think of this freaking former or that broad that was running for governor down in Georgia saying that I think illegals should be able to vote, and even some 16-year-olds? What is going on?
Yeah, that's a problem everywhere. And that's part of the reason why they don't want the wall. The Democrats, they like the cheap labor, and they think they're going to get the votes out of it. Well, it'd be funny if it switched on and then they all voted the other way around.
Well, you got a point there is, yeah, they want the votes out of, the Democrats want the votes, and you got Republicans who want the cheap labor. Where is the working man fit into this country anymore? The working
man's the one that pays.
It's like, where the hell? It's shrunk so much, the middle class, in the last, 20 years that it's unrecognizable.
It's the middle class that pays for everything. That's the problem. The people on the lower end usually get some type of subsidy. That's why that goes towards the Democrat end. I see it as a landowner and, real estate end. Mm-hmm. And then the people on the other end and the high end, your big businesses, your big corporation, they like the cheap labor.
Right.
You see it on both ends of it, you know what I mean? And the middle class is stuck in the middle paying for it.
Exactly. I'm wondering now, I'll actually have to reach out to maybe Hot Rod or something like that with A-Bait or something, or some of the guys over at the COC in Cali. I wonder if they're using this as a test case, because we all know California is a test case for the country. If this shit's gonna, their aftermarket pipes program's bringing in, a nice chunk of change. I wonder if they're gonna start going around the rest of the country.
Well, I remember a number of years back, they started doing it here in Connecticut, in a town called West Haven. They were going around and they were doing the decibels on the pipes. Mm. It got so bad, I could be wrong on this, but I remember Harley Davidson serving them a letter, because some of the pipes that they were giving tickets for were actually stock pipes. Mm-hmm. And they end up stopping it here in Connecticut. Actually, Connecticut, we don't even really do a bike inspection, which is actually pretty good. There's no helmet law either. But it was a problem a number of years back, and I believe Harley Davidson got involved somehow and served the city some type of letter about, stock bikes.
Do you think you think Harley Davidson, well, they're doing shitty right now, but do you actually think they'll step up for the biker community and get involved in something like this? Or are they just going to let it go under the bridge?
They're just going to let it go under the bridge.
Ain't that freaking sad?
It is sad.
It's sad that a lot of people have so much loyalty to them, but they don't have an ounce of loyalty for the working man biker. I don't see it.
Like I said in one of the other ones, Hollywood, when I talked to you, I hate to get all political, but the liberalism, when I mean liberalism, where everybody has to win a trophy, there is no losers, that type of stuff.
Right.
That went all the way to the corporate end of Harley Davidson. I hate to say it, but it did. Mm-hmm. And that's the attitude of it. It's changed. You're not put it this way. I used to enter all these mileage contests. Then I was told you can't enter no more because you won too many. You got to give somebody else a chance. I thought it was a contest.
Right.
It's changed that way. Harley Davidson, it's hard that their personality has changed that way. Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's hard and weird to say.
Right.
But the whole country in itself, half of it wants everything paid for, and everybody has to be a winner. There can't be any losers. That's what made the country great, was competition.
Oh, you're exactly right. And competition now is like a hex. It's like, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't hurt their feelings. You know what was funny is, just for a test case, and I was testing it out to see, who was on the channel and stuff like that, is I put up an old vintage video of some club guys smashing the hell out of a Honda. And you can't believe how many hate mails I got from that. Oh, why are they smashing a perfectly good bike? That's acting childish. What the hell is going on with the new bikers?
I saw the video. I thought it was great. The guy was charging $1 to take a swing at it. Okay, well, people don't realize back in the day, that was sponsored by Harley Davidson. That was the big thing. They took an old Honda or whatever it was, a Cowie, and they charged you so much, you picked up the sledgehammer, you beat the shit out of it. That was a big thing back in the 70s.
Right, and hanging the damn things from the trees and stuff like that. But I couldn't believe how many people got butthurt over that video, man.
What are you going to do? Like you say all the time, we got a lot of snowflakes out there.
Oh, my God, snowflakes ain't the freaking word. Holy crap with these people.
You got to watch what you say.
I wonder what the hell they say if I had 3 broads going at it on the channel. Would they fucking report the channel and be all butthurt?
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of hate.
Oh my God, after I put that video up, man, I got so much hate mail. See, I usually average about 100, 200 emails of hate mail a day. And I started looking at it, it's like, are you kidding me? You're freaking butthurt over a Honda getting smashed up?
Yeah, you can't make it up, People got nothing better to do, Hollywood, Like I said once before, ever since the internet popped out, you got people that sit on their couch their whole life. They've never done anything. All of a sudden, like I said, they're internet cowboys. They've accomplished everything in the world, but yet never done anything. And they know everything,
Right. Can you imagine these people at a rally, man?
I see them. Trust me, I see them. It's, I went to an event on Saturday up in Maine. New England does a tour car. Harley Davidson does 23 dealerships. It's actually really nice. You finish your dealerships, the 23 dealerships, and you're in the running for a brand new motorcycle. I've been doing it for a number of years. I put my girlfriend on the back of the bike. We ride. We make trips out of it. We go to Maine, all back roads, nice riding. When I got there on Saturday, it was pretty ironic. There's a whole group of people that don't appreciate me being around because of all my long distance riding. Mm-hmm. So I made sure I sit up front. And one of the guys standing right next to me wouldn't even acknowledge me. He's on the law enforcement side. I get it. I purposely didn't wear any support colors. I figured I'll leave it alone to that day. But what was really good about it, the guy that won the motorcycle, the woman says his name. I look at her. She says, Connecticut. I'm like, oh, yeah, where? She says, Milford. I turn around and says, you know what? I think I know that guy. By any chance, does he have a wife named Regina? And she says, yeah, Tom. I said, that's my buddy Paulie. He deserves it. He's been doing the tour car for 3 or 4 years. The other side of the people looked at me like I was some type of scumbag because my friend won one thing. They called him. He didn't pick up the phone. Hey, this gets really good. He didn't pick up the phone. So I called him up. I said, Paulie, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. You just won the motorcycle. He thought it was a prank. They call up. His old lady picks up the phone. She hangs up the phone up. Then they finally call back, and they hear me in the background, and they realize they just won a $25,000 bike.
Holy.
What I'm saying is half the people in there, even though they ride, it's like jealousy thing.
Uh-huh.
Instead of complimenting, it's weird. It's crazy how the people are. You own a motorcycle, in my opinion, to ride it.
Right.
Not all people have the time in the world. People have jobs. Some people, all people. But you know what I'm saying? So you don't have the job. But as long as you're out there riding, who cares? It's 2 wheels.
Exactly. It don't matter what you ride, but getting butthurt over a video that was it brought back a lot of memories for me, actually. But that was some fun shit. I bet some of these and one guy, our boy out in Europe, says, "Why you get so much hate mail?" Well, I'm a dick, so they'll give me the hate mail. That's the way it is. But anyway, I could, if I could tell some of the stories that we used to do back in the day, man, I'd probably get 500-600 or hate emails. They'd be like, "Well, I got," that's just like I post something on our Insane Throttle, a meme abroad or something like that. They're like, would you take a biker abroad? Well, I got my wife and I'd never do. I was like, I didn't ask you about your fidelity, motherfucker. I asked you if you like that poontang, man. What the hell you getting all freaking bent out of shape on me for?
It is. It is what it is, Hollywood. People can't handle the truth no more. That's why a lot of people don't like me. I speak it for what it is.
Right. Well, you're an old scooter tramp, man, and that's another thing. What the hell happened to the scooter tramps in lifestyle? If those who don't know what scooter tramps is, those are the ones who go out there and ride the hell out of them bikes, man. They go out freaking shit. They'll do 30, 40,000 miles a year, and even they become politically correct.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Trust me. Trust me. I run into it all the time. People just, I get you lucky. You're an asshole. You're a drug dealer. I get all that shit because I'm out on my freaking bike. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh my God. Hopefully one of these days, it'll swing back around and we get back to being bikers, man, instead of whiny little babies.
You know what? I hate to say it, but I think that's going to be a minute, Hollywood.
Well, it's half of them want to be socialists now, so I think you're right.
Hollywood, it's not being taught in our schools, man. And some of the schools up here, they're not even teaching the kids how to write script anymore. You know what I mean? It's getting that bad. They're not teaching the kids the history. Over here, I remember helping out a family, and they were teaching the kids the Constitution in like second grade. You think that kid's going to remember that? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's especially with a lot of young guys today. They're not teaching them the trades unless they go to a special school. When we went to school, at least when I went to school, if you weren't going to college, you learned some type of trade. That was mandatory in school.
Oh, we had metalworking. We'd be welding. We'd have wood shop. We'd have, the old printing press going. Nowadays, you got to pay $20,000, $30,000 a year just to go to automotive school.
Exactly. You're right. No, you're right.
They'll come back and say, well, as technology comes, then people get replaced. Oh, BS, man. Right. You're never going to be able to replace a mechanic.
That's bullshit. Just go to Walmart and see all the things that are set up where you pay by yourself, and it takes a picture of you. You know what I'm saying? That's all jobs that are missing, in my opinion.
Right? Well, those jobs build character, man. That's what America was built on. Was blue collar freaking knuckle busters, man.
Exactly. There's nothing better than work. It brings pride.
It does.
It brings pride. Does. And if the people spend the money in the neighborhood, you need it. That's what killed this country. We got away from making things. We need to make things again. That's why, as much as people don't like this president, he's very important. He's trying to get us back to making things. Exactly. It's important. Without it, we don't have anything. We can't defend ourselves. We can't make anything.
Exactly. If you don't got any common sense, man, you don't got any drive, this country, to me, man, it's going real bad right now.
No, I see it. The taxes, like you said, are through the roof. You can only charge people so much in taxes before, like you said, they throw the keys on the floor and walk away. Right. We saw that here in Connecticut. It was pretty bad for a while there.
Exactly.
People just threw the keys on the floor and walked away one year. It was a lot of people.
Right. Rock and roll. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. I always love when you call in, man. We can have a good conversation.
I always love it. We got to just sit together one day and burn. I'll talk to you later.
Rock and roll, bud. Oh, we be burning some good 420, Dominic. I got time for one more call. If anybody wants to call in, we'll go ahead. Covered a lot of stuff tonight, man. I'm sorry, got all over the place. But there's a lot of stuff out there that's like that'll boil your blood, man. And you guys are right in there. A-Bait, you gotta join A-Bait. I believe I'm gonna be talking to Hot Rod. I think I'm be broadcasting with their live on Sunday. We're going to have some interviews with some of their officers coming up. ABATE is one of the most single important biker organizations you gotta join. They got one in every state out there, and besides the work that they do for the biker community, they have some damn good parties, let me tell you. And they might have a Honda or Yamaha to smash up. Now I know it's not, what you ride, it's your ride, but that's an old, nostalgic thing that we love. There's nothing, they raise money and stuff, and like he said, hold on a second, Ironhead got my attention. Hollywood, what do you think, how you think people would feel over a... Right? Yeah, I know, Ironhead. I think they get all up in arms, man. Some of the stuff that we used to do coming up, I could put, and this ain't, I'm not going to try to piss off my Pammy or my Southern Belle or anything like that, but the stuff that we used to do back in the old days, let me tell you, we'd have, let me tell you, that makes you bark right there, man. They'd probably, be outside and, doing one of the, I don't know if you ever saw that Boston Legal, but the guy used to hold his hands on his legs and stuff because he was all scared and shit. That's probably the way most bikers would react to what we used to do back in the day. Let's see here. $30,000 a year before a heart attack and stroke, now maybe $15,000. Don't know what that means, Pastor Aaron, but I didn't see the rest of it. People need to wake up. Liberals don't care. Well, you know what? I agree, man, because, it just amazes me with 50% of millennials believing in socialism. Can you imagine them pretty older people growing up in the 80s like we did, or the 70s? I don't think they'd survive. I really don't. But let's see here. Don't need to beat up any more motorcycles. People might think you're racist nowadays or watch out. Man, you wouldn't believe the stuff I get. Oh, the stuff that I'm called. Oh my God. Rock on. But anyway, that's a big part of the show today. I want to thank everyone for the donations with YouTube Live and the Super Chat. Like, comment, and share the video if you can. That helps us out. Biohazard, rock on, Nicholas. All you guys are awesome for coming on to the show, and really appreciate everything. But if nobody else is going to be calling in tonight, you guys be safe, be happy, go get laid, get some 420. Smoke it up and smoke one for me, man. But you're right, Tony, ABATE all the way, and I'll talk to you guys later.